Shada. Shada is an interesting thing. At one time, it was considered the lost masterpiece of season 17, Douglas Adams' prospective greatest contribution to Doctor Who and the saving grace of an otherwise sometimes maligned season. The perception of Shada, as of its 2017 reconstruction, is more concrete now, and the reactions to it are seemingly mixed. Some see it as a work of great potential, others see why it was possibly discarded, beyond the reasons of the behind the scenes difficulties, or why Adams himself didn't claim to have a particularly high opinion of it. The part of the animated 2017 reconstruction appears to demonstrate a few things. First, that Shada did indeed have a lot of potential, fascinating ideas, compelling stakes, narrative flair, and rather strong scripts. The second, that Shada would have been better off as a four-part story, binding all of its interesting events into one more active, streamlined, and enrapturing production. What we see of the direction, particularly or predominantly of the outdoor location segments, is quite good. The ideas related to Time Lord history or prospective manipulation of the time-space continuum itself is definitely intriguing. It is a fine demonstration of AI entities, and K9 is at some of his most useful also. Shada might have been one of the greatest four-parters of all time, but as a feature-length edited omnibus for what would otherwise be a six-part series, it is edited this way on a recent season 17 Blu-ray, which I have not seen. It drags a bit. The interactions meander until they decide the plot can kick in without having to pad it out much later, although it is occasionally padded out later, with characters being imprisoned, made to watch a villain's machinations, or supporting characters retrieving some item of stated importance. As it stands, Shada is one of the most interesting projects in the show's history, although it is fundamentally incomplete, and not lost. A major distinction, certainly. The lost serials still cohere as narratives, whereas the Shada scripts are at their most watchable during the actually filmed sequences, when they are trimmed and shot to an ideal viewer reception as emphasized theatre. During the animated sequences or other supplemental techniques, Shada feels more dry, and like a story that the director or cast didn't believe in, because they didn't. Not in the newly composed sequences, they barely have an idea of where it fits in with a wider story. They aren't acting out the production, embodying it, in the same way that they could if it were live action. The animated reconstructions of lost live action footage fare much better as a result. They meet the lost live action segments halfway, mimicking and deducing from still photographs and the audio of a serial once convictedly enacted by a cast via a director who usually understood and was determined to execute the material. In this Shada reconstruction, the distinction is very much apparent, though it does not break the project in my view overall. I would likely enjoy this more broken up into six parts rather than as this feature-length omnibus, although it is very fine to view Shada in any complete form. Mostly I am very impressed with the results. A creative storyline, or at least one of many intriguing ideas, delving more into the Time Lord lore and actual time-bending storyline exercises, and several ideas for a visually catching production on top of this. I don't think the finished result would have topped City of Death, no matter the prospective promise, maybe not even on the level of Adams' Stella the Pirate Planet, yet what we have is a fairly commendable effort, and still was superior to much of Season 17, maybe only City of Death accepted, and Nightmare of Eden is the only other one that might square off with it, and even then I'm not very sure. Moving on to the far superior Season 18, one of Tom Baker's very best, really probably one of the best seasons in the entire run of the classic show.